They get another go at this one. They get another bite at the apple. The problem is they're going to have to start on the T side of Ancient. That's always a little bit of fun.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes for Liquid. Actually, Complexity are better on their T side right now than their CT side on Ancient over the last 4. So we'll see if that comes into play at all here. Liquid playing a lot more Ancient over those last 3 months. 8 times they've been on it, 5-3 record. Trying to make it a 6th here in one of the most important matches that they've played so far over those last few months. Elige gonna go through, and that's a nice little headshot in a second onto Grim. Here we go, 5v3, and Halzerk has taken a ton of damage, down to 7 HP. Naf a chance to punish even further, and he does take JT down to 76. Flashbang gonna get tossed on forward, and excuse me, a decoy grenade going to get tossed forward, and well, looks like Liquid have full control of the site and the round as of this moment. Halzerk pushing to the smoke. He gets one onto Nitro, but immediately traded by Elige, and OC dropping Floppy. It is all Liquid all the time to kick things off.
Talking about individual efforts, I mean, Elige was incredible on Overpass as well. His performance overshadowed by the ridiculousness we got from Floppy, but there's a reason they gave him the PT50 in this one, and boy, did he deliver. Individual effort just peels open the A site. They don't really need anyone else close at hand, and then it's free and for the taking. So well done there from Elige. Nice start here for Liquid. Always nice to get the pistol round on Ancient.
Yeah, no question. Especially on your T side. Get those rounds up early. Elige is exposed, and yes, he will go down, but he does manage to get one on Grim through the smoke before falling. Said something. Thing is, it's an AK given away. The only AK that Liquid brought into the round.
And it hems them in. Complexity don't quite realize right now, but there's no A presence, so Liquid are going to feel pretty forced to go for this B play. At this point, the rotations have come in. Halzerk's just gotten a tag on a Nitro. Softens him up, makes him a little more vulnerable to the pistol, specifically this pistol. Mr. Ricky Floppy Camry. And here comes the play. Floppy strikes fast and furious. The pressure coming on. The Deagles can do damage. Floppy finds one more. Now the SMG continues to bear fruit. And Naf, he's bailing. He doesn't have the bomb. He'll have to try and force his way back in, but it's a 1v2. Now Guns picked up on the other side, and with his 27 points of health, the MAC-10 might as well be another AK.
Yeah, honestly.
No worries, folks. John's just moving furniture. He's so excited.
Just
throwing the desk around.
Moving our desk.
Didn't actually know we could do that.
I did not
thought
either.
It was bolted in.
I did too.
Today I learned. And Naf has been doing some learning too. Everyone on Liquid has, because that was not how they expected round 2 to go.
Yeah, honestly, Naf had time to rotate around onto the other side, and maybe that's what he's trying to convince Complexity he's done, but it doesn't really matter. Complexity are tucked into the corners now. They're just holding the bomb, which is all they need to do, and Naf will fall by the wayside. After winning the opening pistol, Complexity strike right on back for their first CT round.
When the desk was coming off of their segment, I asked them, you think Floppy can drop 40 again? And they said no. But I shun the non-believer.
I also said no.
Getting her done with the pistol right here. Floppy is in rare form right now. I also saw a tweet during the break. Apparently, after one of his clutches, Floppy said, and I quote, "I almost fist bumped the cameraman."
Feeling that good about his performance. Honestly, it is hard enough to get almost 40 on one map. Not to mention 2 in a row, Mike. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe just 30 will be enough.
Maybe 30.
We'll see. All I know is this is creating a spicy situation. Floppy will add his 4th kill. Okay, 2 more. Why not? Floppy just feeling it right here. A 4K on for the ace. The 5-7 out to find it. He'll have to reload something. But OC's putting his teammates down. He wants the flop. He wants it all. Grim will deny us that at least, but it does not seem like Floppy has slowed down one bit.
Oh, not at all. Not at all, at least in the early goings. He's already up to 7. Halzerk trying to pump his team up even further here.
I think he's just enjoying it.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
sometimes
how can you not be?
You just got to be happy to be put in the backpack and go along for the ride.
Jeez.
And apparently Floppy's ready to do some lifting.
All right, let's see if he can continue to lift his team on forward here. Obviously, Liquid just going to be on the Glocks and a P250 here. Nothing else brought into the round. So they're going to try and go dry towards... Oh, my goodness.
No one's here.
If they had just gone. If they had just gone.
They don't know. But nobody is here. Halzerk's going around to adjust that. but Liquid did not take advantage. They didn't know the red carpet was rolled out for them.
But on the pistol round, I thought they were just going to go for a quick play, and it would have been the right decision. Just walk onto the A site and try to take engagements because no one was there.
The thing is, so the idea is...
I get it, to make the footsteps, right?
Yeah, you hear from Donut, you call for the rotation, you bring the bodies over, but little do they know, no one's close enough to even hear those footsteps. They had no Donut presence. They had no Donut player. So, Complexity are just going to sit in their default. Maybe JT can get caught. Does have support from Floppy, though.
Yeah.
The rifles, you'd imagine, are going to be able to chew through. There's no flashbang to get around this corner, so this is going to be a tight choke point. Now Shadows are being spotted. JT to...
Just one. There we go.
Actually, just the one. It's on to Floppy to hold the line, but, well, Floppy is a typical line holder. Bomb slipped into the cubby. It's not on towards the site. Elige does have a rifle, but he's not got health. He's not got armor. He's being peppered down, and they know exactly where he is. So Floppy, why not? Another multi-kill. 3. 10 kills. 4 rounds.
All right. You're going to have to reconsider. Perhaps, Mike, you're clairvoyant here, but
I have been known to make a few predictions in my time.
Okay. Like what?
Well, you know, things and stuff.
Things and stuff. All right. That doesn't have...
You've been with me when I made predictions. Some of them have even come true, John.
That's true. I've made some predictions, too. They've come true. Oh, wow.
John's prediction is just always that there's going to be overtime.
Oh,
and
come on.
it is frequently correct. I will give you that.
There you go.
You are the
Look.
overtime cursor.
Fang is going to be spamming through the smoke.
We getting OT this game, John? Take a guess. This would be the bold prediction instead of when you do it when it's like 15-14.
I'm going to say no. No overtime here on Ancient.
No OT.
Yeah,
We'll find out if
no
he's a
OT.
true prophet or just a fraud.
Yeah, Halls are going to toss the Incendiary, which does keep Team Liquid at bay for the time being, but no, they defuse it immediately with the smoke. They're going to go for the boost. Naf on over into boost spot, and Complexity's trying to counter here with some flashbangs and peeks, but they still haven't seen anything finally do. There's Halls, they're trying to transfer for a second. It is back and forth, but we are sitting at a 3v3 with the site almost taken, but who else but Floppy getting the bomb at his feet and a frag on Elige.
There's a smoke. But they're probably going to have to commit that to Donut, and right now they're trying to let Yekindar develop through. He's actually got the smoke, so it's not even in position to actually do anything. Yekindar has to find his kill on Donut, or life is going to be very difficult. He's just spotted Floppy. But Floppy's bringing him the fight. There's the shot, there's the pop. Now they know. Now they know they're split, and Floppy just wants to buy time. Could get this kill, it would just about seal the deal on the round, but this time it's Yekindar instead. It cost him much of his health, but he does get a critical venture, a critical kill to secure Donut, and now OC's worked his way around in towards spawn. JT will tuck in the corner. He knows they're coming from either way. His head's on a swivel right here, but he goes for it to find the first. Now knows where the second is as well. OC fighting him through the box. The headshot's there. OC low, dancing with time, dancing with the devil, but JT comes out on top. The clutch is there, and 4 rounds are there for Complexity. Halzerk getting loud. Grim chiming in. They're feeling it.
Yeah, indeed. 4-1, as you mentioned, in favor of this Complexity squad. Floppy continues to pop off. Timeout called, assuming by Liquid. Yeah, absolutely, considering the way things have started here on Ancient. But don't be too deceived. Ancient, of course, has a very CT-sided reputation, right?
Sure.
We've seen 12-3s turn around, even though we're not there yet, and I'm not saying we will be, but it's very possible for a comeback to happen, even if the CT side seems dominant right now.
But Liquid also recognize that this is where you get into the really tough sledding.
Yes.
You've got all the utility up, the op is up. Complexity's going to be able to play exactly the way they want to. So you're going to have to get a little creative if you want to try and pry some of these rounds away. This round, probably not a whole lot doing. I think just the upgraded pistol is going to be available. Veins Grim a-poppin'. But this is where they're going to have to start to get creative when the guns come back out. Tech9's up. Lots of smokes. Fang finds one. The cleanup in mid is looking pretty effective. Now, looking worse for the wear. Now JT going looking. We'll find him a Yekindar and secure that presence outside of B. So this round's a non-starter.
Well,
OC gets 1. This would be a heck of a shot, but instead it's just more fodder to the fire that is Floppy.
Yeah, kind of the expected result there. OC almost finding himself a second, which could have opened up a path to the bomb site and a plant, but not to be. So an easy round victory found for Complexity. And now they're back on to their buy-up, which is likely what they talked about after the timeout. And no, actually they want more time, Mike. They want to talk about it again here. A second timeout used only in 6 rounds of play.
That's interesting. You would have assumed that based on what they talked in that timeout, they might have a plan for the next go round as well, but maybe anticipating getting a plant or at least a little something more. They need to do some creative accounting. That's an interesting one, especially since it doesn't seem like Deps is talking too much. Read his lips. They're not in there. So maybe they just need to do some math. Wanted some extra time for it.
I guess.
This round critical. Early, but important.
Absolutely, as things could really start to run away from Liquid if they can't get on the board soon, and this round in particular, a second would be so very potent. Here comes the Molotovs being thrown on forward towards mid. Liquid still wants a challenge. It's the Liege hiding in the smoke for the time being. 3 players right outside the double doors towards the B side, and Yekindar is going to go out after a flash is thrown for him to try and clear out Snake. And he will do exactly that, creeping his way up. No one is playing Jaguar right now, so Liquid will have a free path forward on there. Floppy, along with JT, playing more passively on the site proper instead. Liquid being very methodical with their clears at this time. And there's a nade toss forward.
They'll work Floppy in a cave here. Been a strong position for him. Additionally, a bit of a nightmare to get past as the tease. I think JT's just got to whisper it. Someone's coming through. He certainly got some information. Trying to buy as much time as possible with that smoke, though, but here it's going to come through.
Here comes the Molotov tossed on forward. Floppy. It's just going to wait next to JT. They might go for the boost. Yeah, they're going to go for the boost. Floppy.
This is tricky because now they've given up the cave angle and players have actually worked their way into the corner. They need reinforcements. Halsic's coming in to provide it, but him getting back in the angle is going to be tough. This is going to be so weird on the smoke fade. You just don't see this very often, but they get two. A 2 for 2, maybe not ideal there. It was certainly a cheeky way to approach the fight, but now a disaster as the bomb's going to be going down and smokes are in their face. They don't have the vision cleared. Grim will be rotating into support, but they're going to have the sight surrounded. This is going to be a tough retake.
Yeah. Grim and the rest of Complexity are going to go for it, though. No reason not to. They've got the utility to toss on forward. A couple of flashbangs will be critical here. Fang throwing one. Grim, gets blinded by his teammate's flash. That'll make things a little tougher for him, but they've still got time to move on forward. Grim gets a freebie and a second, not even looking towards ramp. Oh no, Nitro, the last one standing, has to clutch it and he can't. Grim slips through for the 3K. What a retake from Complexity.
The ancient adage rings true. Smokes are not walls. And Liquid trusted their defenses just a bit too much, didn't account for the Grim Reaper. What a round for Complexity. Liquid kicking themselves for that error. 2 players watching the same angle. No one with the responsibility there for B main. Heartbreaker if you're a Liquid fan.
That is heartbreaking for, I think, anyone watching.
Gut punch for sure. Some miscues early on. Liquid not looking as dialed in. That comeback on Overpass seems to have taken them out of it just a little bit. They need to regain. They need to recover. Those kind of kills will go a long way to doing it. Grim, the hero of the last, is dead at first.
Yekindar sees that incendiary just dissipate right before his eyes landed a little too close to the smoke. Alish waiting. He was holding the right angle, but now Halzer's going to slip through on the flank.
Doesn't know.
He has a free one. There we go. Alish. He is going to go down for the count. Nice little flick from Halzer, and he says, you know what? I'm happy with that. Going to fall back to the A site and cover the ground that no one else is currently covering.
Well, what it does is it frees up his team to rotate in, and JT, whoa, that's not going to work. Floppy, no impact in this one. An advantage found for Liquid. They do have Fang tucked into a corner. Halzer has a ton of utility, but this is still going to be a beast of a retake. They're all coming from the same direction, and the mistake has not been made for Liquid this time. They've maintained control outside of B main. Yekindar's kept that presence, so they know they can trust their backs. Smoke in, sections out the cave players. They'll still have the spam on towards bomb. Kills need to come through from Complexity. They can't just try and stick and pray. And that one doesn't go their way. The stick and pray seems to be the answer. Halzer.
No.
He's going to take a furious prayer and well the spam through. Even if he's not sticking the bomb, we'll find him nonetheless.
He was hoping, I guess, that they would spam the smoke, which they didn't actually connect it on him. But unfortunately for him, was unable to find a frag or anything else in that round. So Liquid do finally get that second round on the board for themselves. 6-2 is now the scoreline.
A little bit of Liquid comms leaking through.
Yeah, hearing that. Still calm, cool, and collected on the Liquid side.
But maybe a little quiet.
Yes.
Again, we talked about it on Overpass. Even when they were in the lead, they weren't getting ahead of themselves because they know those late collapses, they're a thing. They can happen. But this is their chance to correct. Let's see if they can build upon the one-round win. You've got JT onto a Deeg. You've got very limited utility out for Complexity, and JT with that Deeg. Oh, he's still going to get the kill. Halsuk is the price that he pays, though. A push out, damage done, and they move in towards A. They recognize that this has been a lighter sight, a lighter presence, and with Fang done and dusted, this is going to be a save call immediately for Complexity.
Yeah.
They can't contest it.
Yeah, finally Liquid abusing that A site and the space they're being given there, and Complexity have been found out. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a timeout called by them after this round to talk things over, maybe make some adjustments on their defensive end. As you're going to see them just, fully commit to the save. They're not even going to try for the retake at this point because they're just so out of position. So a good chance for Liquid not only to get back on the board, but build up a little bit of economy in their pockets. And they get that third round, Mike.
They do. So important. Such tough sledding here. The next one won't be easy, but you are in the great situation where you've cracked enough of the Complexity economy, rather, that you can kind of keep chipping away at it. I'm keeping from having that perfect buy, from having all the comfort. Kill 14 for Floppy. Just keeping track here. We're heading to round 10. Kill 14. He slowed down a little bit.
Jeez. Not really. Still above a kill per round.
Yeah, he's not getting 4Ks every round, though. Timeout going to be used here for Complexity. It's time for TC to have his say. First one burned here.
Yeah, I expected this.
They know. I mean, first you got to do some creative accounting and figure out how much you actually want to invest in this round. Probably none, I'd imagine. So then the question is, how do you use these 3 guns to do something? Grimbo calling for something.
Yeah, I don't think the Force Buy would make much sense on Grim and Fang. Your money's just in too tight of a spot. You need to make sure you're okay for the following round.
JT can share a Deeg.
Yeah.
That's something, at least. Do they do it? Or is JT just going to be selfish? Come on, JT. Share.
There's no sharing.
Wow. Just keeps the Deagle. Maybe forgot he had it.
Perhaps.
Hand cannon going to stay on Mr. Theodore. Oh, God, I'm going to mangle his last name. So we're just going to say JT.
JT works. And yeah, look at the adjustment already for Complexity. They have 2 players towards the A site. One in A main, one
Bifang
over on Big Box. And yeah, Bifang indeed. OC going to find that opener right off the docket here. And Liquid, hoping to attract more attention towards this B site, could rotate back to A. They haven't shied away from those rotations so far. And I mean, there was one round where they actually made the right call twice, but walked into a wall on the anchor both times on A and the B site. Elish, waiting for the chance to strike here into Cave. Yekindar and himself already in Jaguar, and here they come. No one actually holding from Cave. All 3 players near or on the bomb site. Oh, Floppy going to get actually sprayed down by Elish off screen. And then Yekindar just blows Halzerk out of the water. 5v2. I think the task is to just save the AK at this point. JT gets 1, and he gets tagged down to 12. He's trying to escape.
The lone survivor, the lone sentinel, flashbanged out and just running. Muscle memory here, hoping he knows his KZ, his movement. And he will find a foothold, but they're hunting. They're chasing. They're hungry. Money's not phenomenal for Liquid, but you can certainly throw a couple shots getting this out of his hands, and it's better yet if Naf just shoots him in the side of the head.
Alrighty.
Preferred result there.
Very much so.
Oh, we've got a game. We've got a game here from Liquid. They have already netted the sort of minimum rounds that they would feel comfortable with, and from here on out, it's so much pressure on the Complexity.
Oh, yes, no question. I mean, 4 rounds T-side of Ancient, you're already looking pretty good. Liquid trying to get to 5 in Complexity. That just goes to show you how important it was not to invest in that round on the 2 players. But they won't have an op. Still, they have 4 A1Ss, the FAMAS, and a good chunk of utility. Thanks to get blinded out completely, but Halzerk there to support. Thing is, the trade is good, but Fang re-swings and almost gets to. It's JT that supports him, but now Elish with the response. 2v2. Elish takes so much damage, but look at the A site again. It's free and clear for the taking.
They know they've taken down all the casualties. There has to be commitment over towards B, so this is likely going to be a plant, but it's such a nightmare of a site to hold. So the question is, how do they choose to defend it? They'll work a player in towards Donut. Eventually, that's going to be Elish with the AWP. He's the insurance policy. He's the guy who wants to stay alive and pop off that last shot. Right now, it's buddy system for both sides. They're working together. They're playing the combos. They're trying to play the trades. Grim and JT making their way through. JT on half, Elish on the other side, limping. Kits? No. No kits. Don't know if one's down on the site. Don't believe so. If it were, it would be in towards mid, so it's useless at this point. They gotta go. And meanwhile, Liquid have split up to provide 2 looks. You may not be expecting that. It doesn't matter. Elige takes both. One bullet.
Ah, what a great job by Elige on the Colette. Honestly, I thought that he was just trying to attract attention while the flank was forming there, but instead he shoots one bullet and gets the Colette. Does it himself, exactly.
Do it yourself.
Well played by Liquid.
Always does deliver these Colettes.
It does.
It's one of the prime stack-up
spots. You get funneled into those small hallways, right? Very narrow hallways.
Banana, donut, great spots.
Yeah. All the
we saw
food
Scout
names.
Colette yesterday. That was insane.
Yes, that was
a losing effort. But
I mean, look, it was still a great shot.
Before.
I don't remember the last time I've seen a
two headshots, price of one, fully healthy players. Wild.
Yep.
Molotov gonna start to burn one out. Grim, he's on fire, and not in the good way. And he's the only one on this side of the map, John.
Oh no!
Bye, Grim.
He gets sprayed down through the smoke, and it's a 5v4 in favor of Liquid. I mean, look, Complexity didn't bring much into this round, just pistols, but they are going to try a stack on this B site. No one is headed there for now. Nitro's got visibility, and he gets two before going down. That is the bomb, which might be a little problematic, but it's on the side of Team Liquid, so they won't be too fussed to get it back, and they don't even need to. There are the frags. Round is over. Liquid on to 6, which is excellent for T-side Ancient.
I mean, at least 3 kills there. It's something doing, but it's not much.
No.
It's certainly not much, and Liquid's starting to feel a lot comfortable. The smiles are cracking again. You're feeling the energy flow once more. You know, Yekendar's relaxed because his nose isn't touching the screen.
Maybe just because it's a timeout.
Also, that probably contributes.
Yes.
TC again getting in their ears, getting active with it, trying to get the energy back up here. Because as previously established, I mean, it was such a hot start for Complexity, translating all that momentum from Overpass, and it's come to a screeching halt, John.
Really has.
5 rounds in a row.
Speaking of things coming to a screeching... Yes, it is. 5 rounds in a row. And speaking of things coming to a screeching halt, Floppy, his dominance here, very much slowing down in those last 5 rounds. I think he only has 1 or 2 frags at most. And that seems to be the answer here for Liquid so far, is just shut Floppy down.
Yeah, only 14 kills in 12 rounds. Scrub. No, but it is true. I mean, It was dominant for the first few big multi-kills, big frags.
Very front-loaded here in terms of his frags.
They've been avoiding him in towards Cave, opting to instead try and force him in towards aggression into trades and punishing him in those moments, and it's been very effective for Liquid to mitigate the hot form from the Flopster. 3 players towards A. This is an adjustment for Complexity for sure. A has been the weak point, the Achilles heel, and we don't fancy that continuing. So a 2-1-2. Or a 3-no-2. Or a 1-2-2. They're shifting around.
2-1-2.
Back to the 2-1-2.
Yeah. The right call. Smoking to get tossed in the face of Fang. And he's just going to tuck himself in the corner behind it and wait for any targets to advance in his direction. But again, Liquid are trying to move their way into the B site in the early goings. They've got the bomb along with Yekendar into Cave. So B seems like the likely target, given how much space they've gained. No one really contesting aggressively on the Complexity side. In fact, both players on the outside looking in. Floppy going to toss them util 4. That's a smoke to try and push them off the ramp, and JT spots out Nitro, tags him down to 40 HP. That's not going to deter Liquid. They continue to move on to this site, and they're already going to get the plant. Not a single frag recorded as of yet, and there you have it. Wow. Retake should be on very shortly for Complexity.
Sounds insane, but there's a world where they just call the save.
Oh, I don't know.
Without the util. They don't have any smokes. They do have kits, but this is going to be so tough getting back to the sightlines. They are going to move in en masse. They're not going to go for that insane world. Molotov in towards Cave. This could make things uncomfortable, but Yekendar's spot in the corner is still safe, and now they're not checking it, and so he just denies everything, shuts them down. They didn't have the nades to make this work, and while it will get a little close, it's always comfortably Liquid's.
Yeah, not really ever in doubt thanks to a strong position from Yekendar. And I mean, looking at the money, I think that Complexity should have a buy here.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, but I think they should be okay.
Liquid have pulled on the lead of this half. That's 6 rounds in a row. No answer coming through from the defense.
Excuse me.
And yeah, it is going to be the pistols into this one. They've got a bit of utility to try and make something work, but they're going to have to get creative, and it's the full push down mid. Hoping that maybe Elige would go back to his antics at the elbow, but it's been a while since. It's not going to happen in this round. And instead, Looks like Team Liquid's
yeah.
going to march onto a free A site.
I mean, the amount of times that the A site's been left free.
It's kind of their instinct at this point.
Yeah,
if Complexity
exactly.
stacks something, it means no one's on A.
Well,
they take their time. Now the reinforcements are here. Problem is they do, just have pistols.
Yeah, and they're giving them a chance back in, but here comes the Utah. Oh, goodness. Molotov smokes everything in their arsenal being thrown on forward, and Complexity just has no chance to get back in here. Liquid has the site on lockdown, and Naf is trying to spray down some targets. It's going to be Yakindar, OC, everyone trying to get on the mix here for Liquid. Now Naf has one, and Elige is the only player without a frag. He won't get one, but Liquid get the round. That's the important part.
No teammates. Elige, he's got enough. He can share. He's having another very strong performance. He's been incredible through this series. Really been incredible through this tournament so far. Been an absolute monster. So, 8 rounds found, winning out the T-side half on Ancient, considering how this began with 6 unanswered rounds from Complexity. This could not have gone better.
No.
I mean, literally, I think I've made the most obvious statement in the world. They have won every round since then.
Yes.
Just ignore me. It's fine. It's not like I'm talking in your ears constantly.
Exactly.
Mute button is within reach.
15th and final round of play here in this first half of action, and Liquid trying to make it 9-6 on their T-side. Yakindar gets contacted first with the bullets, but manages to flick around and get JT before he gets taken down. So a 4v4 gives his team a ton of information based on what he saw before dropping.
It was interesting that he was so far alone. That definitely wasn't the initial draw up. He just found so much space. He thought, let me keep going into it. Just one of those moments where you find an entry and you just keep rolling. But the problem is no one was close enough to actually take advantage of that room.
Yeah, and I think Elige is just trying to draw attention towards the A site and keep these two players in that direction, which is good. It's working so far. Another bit of utility tossed into Donut. And look at this. They're drawing Complexity out down the ramp. They're double swinging, but OC doesn't go down, and he actually will eventually. The thing is, Elige gets a frag right before that, and Fang has to be careful. He cannot push too far, and he goes out again. It doesn't matter. He does manage to get a frag. Traded out by Naf, though, and now a 2v2.
Grim and Halzer trying to bring this back, trying to get themselves this last round headed into the half, trying to recover some sort of momentum here. 25 seconds, though. Liquid will go for a risky rotate. And if they go in towards mid, well, there's Halzer waiting. And does he realize what that means as a tip-off? Well, Naf wants to bring it in towards mid, so it doesn't really matter. He'll go back towards B, and Halzer was waiting the entire time. The same sight line will secure round 7 for Complexity. for Liquid at the half after a ferocious offense here on Ancient, but much like on Overpass, a light at the end of the tunnel, one round to cap off the half, and we saw what it led to last time. Could it happen again here, John?
Oof, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, looking at the CT round win percentage here for Liquid, at 62.2. I don't know. It's looking pretty promising for them, but you're right. I mean, look, even if Liquid manages to get off to that early lead, Complexity have that heart in them, the never say die attitude to get back into this one. So I wouldn't give up on them just yet, even with a very strong T side coming through from Liquid. All right. Well, Complexity are going to favor the A site, which is indeed the right call here, as Liquid are stacking heavily towards B. Only one player within reach of the A site right now. That is OC in Donut. He's got support coming through very shortly. Looks like Nitro has an inkling that he might be needed towards the A site, and he would be right because now he's smoked off. It's all up to OC, who gets one and the second through the smoke. What a great job from him, doing exactly what he has to, and Nitro through the smoke as well. They don't need to see them, Mike. They just need to tap away through these smokes, and their bullets will find the heads.
Well, now, Elise going to connect on another, and it's clean. Not a bullet came back the other way. Not a bomb plant here for Complexity. The USPs finding everything. No issue whatsoever. And, just to give you all an update, if you don't like spoilers, turn away and go check HLTV, I guess. But Evil Geniuses are the other 3-0 team. They've bested 9Z. They've confirmed their spot at the Rio Major, and they've secured a matchup with whoever wins this map for that legend spot. The Evil Geniuses, the absolute punching bag of every pundit in the CS scene for so long, are in the Major as the absolute first 3-0 team.
That's absolutely unbelievable. Honestly, I wouldn't have even picked them to go 3-0. I thought they had a chance at the Major, but 3-0 is absolutely wild. What a performance by them against 9Z. They were tested going on to map number 3, but they did it, and they were so hyped, realizing that they were going to the Major once they hit that 16th round.
My confession is I didn't pick them to go through, but I've never been more happy to be wrong. I get hexed stickers. Okay. Got to figure out what gun those are going on. Meanwhile, there's some more stickers to think about here, because Team Liquid just has some pistols arrayed against them, and, well, it's about to be a bit of a slaughter. Nitro well positioned with that MP9. Here comes the engagement in elbow. A little tickle up on the site, but OC's good for that, and here's the cleanup. No problem. Yekadar comes in to secure it. Only the SMG is lost in the wash. 10 rounds on the board for Liquid.
Yeah, Liquid proven to be very solid in the pistol rounds here on Ancient, taking both of them in pretty clean fashion, in fact. And that's really helped them build up the lead that they have. It's been very critical, in fact, because without those two, I mean, Complexity are the ones who are likely setting the rhythm, setting the flow. Complexity will have the guns back up and running here. AKs across the board. Decent utility set in their hands, and Fang is trying to take the initiative towards mid. Nitro's waiting on the other side. Great flashbangs, but no, they're just going to spam on through and luckily connect. That's a Leech finding one, but JT responds, doming Yakindar with the AK. And we have a 4v4. JT down to 26 HP himself is just going to settle things down now, but look who's waiting around the corner. It's Elige. He's been so lethal here on Ancient, top fragging for his team at 17 and trying to tack on perhaps a couple more here. Oh, he does find Floppy, but can't take him down.
They're limping, though. They've been chopped off at the ankles. That means they're so soft for this MP9. The MP9 will slaughter. There we go. Naf chews through them like a hot knife through butter. And Halzerk, well, he might be just a bit stiffer, but for now, he's going to have to sit and wait. Grim will come in to buddy up with him. Try and get something. And still towards Donut. There we go. That relieves some of the pressure. Forces a bit of an adjustment here from Liquid. You can already see Naf backing off just a hair. He knows they're close. They're coming his way. He's jiggling for the angle, and he's going to get one more. All right, Naf literally ran out of bullets, and that's the way they managed to stop him. But so much damage done leaves Halzerk in a 1v2 that OC will quickly erase.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're Naf in that position, you got the MP9, you have to hold the close angles. No reason to back off that fight, especially since you're expecting them to be coming from that direction. And he even gets a third for himself, almost a fourth. As you said, just ran out of bullets at the end, and that was his undoing. But he contributed in such a big way in that round. Took out the softened targets that Elige helped out with, and then, of course, finished it off. Alrighty. 11-7 in favor of Liquid. And looking at Complexity, they're on to the pistols. Maybe going for a quick play here towards the B site. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. They are going to be pushed off regardless. Great Molotov going to be thrown here by Liquid.
No fast play possibility. Too many HEs, too many mollies. You go there, you would have been chewed through. You would have been disintegrated.
Yeah.
Erase. Not going to happen.
Still looks like they're thinking about going to the B site as it stands here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have too many options, right? So
they only have one
and
smoke.
A flash and pray. Here comes the smoke. There goes the flash. Is there another molly on site? There is. OC has one. But he's just going to scope up. And it's going to work out pretty well for him. So they might actually give a bomb plant over. It seems like they're going to. This molly might be designed to deny it, but it's way too late if that were the case. 4 players alive in the post plant. I mean, this could have gone worse for Complexity.
Oh, yeah.
I need to circle the wagons a bit on the Liquid side. Okay. 1 for 1. Maybe a gun picked up. No. Elige denies that. Elige denies everything as he continues his monstrous run of form. It's all on the floppy, and this would be the clutch of a lifetime. If he managed to pull it off, he'll try. He's got a gun. Floppy's got a gun, but he's out of there. He's going to save.
Yeah, save. You already got the money as you planted the bomb coming in your way. There you go. All right. So, 12th round picked up by Liquid, but at least Complexity find the bomb plant. They get the additional economic boost, and they will be able to full-on buy here more comfortably than they would have without that bomb plant. So, it's something. A little bit of damage done to Team Liquid economy, but at the end of the day, it's not too bad for them.
I think the notebook cracked open there for Nitro. You'll note that Daps is in the back writing in a notebook as well.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder whether every game gets its own notebook, and then he just hands it over to Nitro. Crack on through. He's got his timeout speeches pre-written, prepped. Just hands them over to Nitro.
Here, say this. It will get everyone hyped.
The speechwriter, they call him. Kind of a sick coach name.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd make a lot of sense, but I'd be intrigued. Well, we're going to need one hell of a speech here for the Complexity side, because their chances at this, their chances as the clean 3-0 are starting to elude them. T-side of Ancient is a brutal affair, but as you saw in the first, all it takes is 1 round to crack that start, and suddenly, who knows what can happen.
Not to mention, it was just as hot a start for Complexity on their CT side. So you're right. Anything can still happen here. Naf going to toss the nade on forward, and that's not going to help Complexity's chances, losing the first body in those first 15 seconds of the round. 5v4, Yekindar waiting for that smoke to fade away before he decides what he's going to do here in Jaguar. In the meantime, Grim has managed to slip through mid. He's got his eyes on Donut, but I don't know how much this is going to matter, even with that space gain, because OC just spots out Floppy trying to sneak into that B site. And now Elige is taken down to 25, but, I mean, they've got to get the frags, and soon here on Complexity. There it is. That will help immensely.
There's one. Yekindar taken out of play, but still a player in Donut. Nitro holding for this. Smoke is going to confirm his presence, but confirming it and killing him are two different things. Grim will come in to try and accomplish that mission. Dancing around the donut, dancing with death. And he knows it. He wants to actually get beyond Nitro to maybe upset one of his teammates, but no, it's Nitro instead who gets the best of Grim. A wrap around the smoke ineffective, and this position remains secured. So Complexity will, I guess, go for an attempt in towards B. They've got a bit of utility on Halzerk. This is a rather tough situation. Fortunately for them, Team Liquid have played passive. They're playing a little bit more for the retake. They've gone into the back lines. They were wary about mid being open up. But as they work their way through elbow, they're going to realize, no, that's not actually that much of a concern. And Naf will be perfectly positioned to deal with JT. Halzerk 1.
Oh!
2. A bomb plant, perhaps. Has to get it done now. And he plants aggressive, but unfortunately for him, Nitro decided he was feeling lucky today.
Wow, what a time to spray through that smoke, and perfect placement. Obviously figuring that it would be planted around the pillar. He lines up for it and hits the headshot. So there you have it. Liquid are able to keep their undefeated streak going here into this second half with 13 rounds picked up. There was a chance here when Grim was coming through, but I mean, he just didn't expect it. He's mad. He's frustrated, and he has to be, right? Because he had all the information. He knew he had to be in that position and could have slipped through otherwise. Just couldn't deal a killing blow.
And you remember at the beginning of this map, it was Grim who was cheering and calling and shouting, and now it's a little bit of different emotion on the side. He's talked about it. He's a player who can get emotional. He's talked about how Halzerk's helped him with that, playing next to Halzerk. Maybe he needs a little bit of that Halzerk spirit. Just reach out and touch the mullet, just a tad bit. We're not going to be in this round, because Halzerk, he's goner.
Yeah.
Alish flashed through. This is so bold. He's back 2 players, but they don't realize.
Oh my goodness.
Not in time. Alish processes faster. And now it's disaster for Complexity. Just 2 players remaining. One's on the other side of the map, and Floppy's
Just
done
JT
for.
now.
Olin to JT wants to come through smoke to try and do this, but Yekindar had his gun against his temple, over and done with in that round. Liquid climb higher.
Oh, man. Well, luckily, I mean, not necessarily luckily because they are down by so much, but at least Complexity have the full loss bonus to fall back on, and I believe it'll be good enough for another buy-up. No reason to save here.
Liquid are 2 rounds away from securing the 3-0. 2 rounds away
Yes.
from a date with the Evil Geniuses to try and get a legend spot. It's something that eluded them last major. They would very much like to secure it right here and now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, it's been unexpected here in terms of both the 2-0 matches and the 3-0 matches being all NA. They have put up incredible performances, whether it be Liquid, Complexity, or EG. And yes, we did have 9Z. 9Z was quite effective there on the 2-0, but...
non-Brazilian for being the Rio Major.
Yes.
And we will guarantee that the legend
It's gonna be
approaching
North
from the
American.
Americas is going to be North American one way or another. Now, a huge kill found. They will get a bomb planted here, but there's precious little to try and defend it with. Still, that is money secured for the next. Problem is, well, this retake's about to be on. Liquid still have control of mid firmly on both sides of it. So they'll move in all 5. Methodical as you would like. And here comes the move. Here comes the first kill. There's precious little to hold this Bay thing, though.
Oh, my goodness.
He can work with little. He can work with very little indeed. The hand cannon ripping. It's all into Halzer. Time is low. Do they expect him at tree? The bomb's planted so that he can secure it.
They can just smoke
Molotov's
it.
in. They're trying to smoke this off, but does he have the lineup with the Deeg? No. Not in time. Naf will get that defuse, and it'll be comfortable for Liquid. Map points secured. 8 series points in a row. One of these next 8 rounds, and Liquid are in that 3-0 matchup, have secured their spot at the major.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how hard it is to get rounds on T-side and how impressive it was that Liquid managed to pull off 8 there and come into the second half with a lead. Now they're trying to close it out, keeping Complexity blanked on their respective T-side, and it's all down to this. Complexity, 5 bodies, 4 AKs, and the AWP to keep themselves in it, and now it's down to 4 OC. Another opening frag going his way. Halzerk, the victim. He has not won those duels with OC very consistently or at all here in this second half. Yekindar a chance to punish as well, Mike, and he will do exactly that with 1, not the second. Still a man advantage for Liquid.
It's been comeback city for Complexity. It's been clutch city for Complexity, but they need the greatest clutch they've had yet in this series, and they need it now. They have to get this started, and there's precious little time. Minute 10 on the clock. A little regression potential there for Liquid. They've held on to the cave. It's going to be Elige in that position to try and keep this defense strong. 3 players here. The read is good for Team Liquid, and Complexity are coming their way. Who's going to flinch first on this angle? An audio cue there, I think, for Fang, but that may have just been faking the rotation off. He's going in to set up utility. This will funnel players further in towards the cave. It works out beautifully for Liquid. Elige not going to get the trade. It's Floppy stepping to the plate, waking back up when they need him most. And now it's about OC. Can they get past his crosshair? Their old teammate, not without casualties. Fang, the young gun, has got to do it all. 35 seconds. If he slips through and towards spawn, he could actually just take this towards A. He could get the backstab on OC. What could be? OC's ready for it. No, OC's ready for the shot. And with the 16th round, they will go through. Team Liquid are your 3-0 team. They're going to get a matchup with the Evil Geniuses to determine who goes to the major as legends.
Clinical performance by Liquid there on Ancient. Fantastic work on their T side, and a flawless CT side sends them on over to that matchup with EG.